The boy could walk as soon as he was born, but he was afraid to walk. He discovered that everyone had a countdown above their heads. With every step they took, the energy bar above their heads would decrease by 1 notch. At first, the boy didn't understand what this meant. It wasn't until he saw another person walk past him, with the energy bar gradually depleting, that he realized the truth. When the energy bar was completely empty, the passerby suddenly turned into a small flower and stayed there forever. It was then that the boy realized he only had 10 steps in his life. He looked back at the flowers around him, filled with fear and hesitation. At that moment, he had only 8 steps left. The boy tried his best to take a big step forward, but no matter how careful he was, the energy bar above his head still decreased by 1 notch. The boy was very panicked and sat down on the ground in fear, not daring to move anymore. He longed for the sunlight but was too afraid to go forward. He carefully stretched his leg toward the sunny spot and then lay down on the ground. He imagined that he could fly toward the sun he desired and bask in the warm sunlight forever. But when he woke up, he found that the area around him was already covered with flowers, and even the last bit of sunlight was blocked. So the boy mustered up his courage, stood up, and tried to stand on the flowers to touch the sunlight, but he failed. Then he looked ahead and decided to leave the shade and chase the sunlight. As he moved forward, his energy bar continued to decrease little by little. When he had only 3 steps left, he finally made it through the flowers and saw the sunlight he had longed for. However, he had stayed in one place for too long, and the sun was about to set. He lifted his foot, looked at the 3 remaining notches on his energy bar, and resolutely chased after the sun. The boy didn't want to miss the last bit of sunlight. He ran forward with all his might, but the sun he was chasing still disappeared, and he was left with only 1 step of life. The boy was panting and jumped with all his strength, trying to reach the place closest to the light. Just as he fell to the ground, his life came to an end. The energy bar above the boy's head finally turned into raindrops that fell on his body, and he became a small flower that could not move. As the roots continued to extend downward, a miracle happened. The boy actually fell off the cliff and landed in the water, drifting toward the light with the current, embracing the sunlight in his own way. The boy had been most afraid of perishing, but the abyss ahead ultimately became his future. The boy embarked on a new stage of rebirth in the direction of the light.